back to the Bully Abby into reading the books that she owns series, and today's video is going to be my non-fantasy related series that I have. So this is a lot smaller than the fantasy ones. We all know that I am primarily a science fiction fantasy girly. However, I do have a few like historical fictions, things like that, so let's dive straight into them. If you need a little bit more context, video 1 is up there. These are split into the same sections as last time, so this section is where I have one book left to finish off the series. Technically this isn't true, but The Eagle of the Ninth Chronicles by Rosemary Sutcliffe, the final book is called The Lantern Bearers, and whilst there are more books in this series, I only want to read this trilogy and finish this bind-up, that's it. So, all I need to do is read that. I've had this since I was 10. Next up is ones where I have 2 books from the series and reading them finishes out the series. I'm gonna go with one that is also technically a lie, but it's also I'm not reading anymore. We love that I'm making up so many lies for this. Cilka's Journey and Three Sisters, both by Heather Morris. I read and enjoyed, is not the right word, The Tattooist of Auschwitz, and so I was gifted these by my parents at different times, bless them. I don't read as much of this sort of genre anymore. I don't want to feel sad. The world makes me feel sad enough, to be quite honest. But I do still want to read them, partly because I'm just so grateful to my parents. And so yeah, I'm just going to read these 2 and leave it at that. 2 more books that my dad made sure that I was able to get hold of, bless him, and it's the final 2 books in the Century trilogy, Winter of the World and Edge of Eternity by Ken Follett. I read Fall of Giants, and whilst it was incredibly interesting, I'm not that keen on Ken Follett's writing style. As I confirmed with Pillars of the Earth, I have read 2 things from him now. He writes women atrociously, but his research is incredibly in-depth. So this is the problem I have. So I won't be picking up any more from Ken Follett, but my dad put in a lot of effort to make sure that I found these and that I got them so I could finish out the series. So I am going to read them, and they are really well researched. At least the first one was, Fall of Giants and Pillars of the Earth. So I will at least be learning stuff. So, but yeah. Bad writing of women and huge is why these 2 have been on my TBR for a while. Same as in the last one, please do let me know which of these you think I should pick up first, because I need the motivation. Thank you. Then this section, I think, is not where I own all the rest of the books in the series. I think one more just came out recently, or it is coming out this year, one of the 2. But that is from the Tales of the City series by Armistead Maupin. So the books are Further Tales of the City, The Days of Anna Madrigal, Marianne in Autumn, Michael Tolliver Lives, Baby Cakes, Sheer of You, Significant Others, and More Tales of the City. They were all in the wrong order. I do think another one has come out, so I think I have that one too. These and the first book were all gifted to me by my wonderful uncle, Alex, who has a page called On This Gay Day, so I highly recommend you go and follow that, link down below. And yeah, this is like a staple, like contemporary at the time, LGBTQ+ series, and I am really excited to actually delve more into it. I think I'm intimidated because there's so many books, even though they're short. So that's why these have been just sat waiting. We have the crossover between the 3 videos in the series, because I have books here where I haven't started the series yet, but I own some of the books, and that is what I'm going to do for the science fiction and fantasy books in the 3rd video. However, these ones, I have the first book, that is Kill the Father by Sandrone Dazieri, and The Chase by Ava Glass. So these ones are both the first book in their respective series, which I have yet to read. And then we have the culmination of my father. He's to blame for a significant amount of these. And basically, he reads a lot. He doesn't keep a single book that he reads. And he has read almost every single fucking James Patterson book the man has ever put out. He's read quite a lot of like Clive Cussler and things like that. And I've always been intrigued, but I've never read them. And so I asked him to keep some by for me that I could read without having read the rest of the series, because he got rid of them all. So I have The Devil's Sea by Clive Cussler and Dirk Cussler, which I think is like book 17 or something, but apparently I can read this without having to read anything else. The writing is surprisingly big. And then we have 19th Christmas by James Patterson and Maxine Petro. I confirmed, apparently I can read this without reading books 1 through 18, according to him. So I feel like this should be a Christmas read, 2024 Christmas, yeah. And then the last book, this is much shorter than the sci-fi fantasy version of this. The last book is The Man in the Bunker by Rory Clements. Again, apparently I can read this one without having read the previous books in the series. I think this is book 3 or 4. This one was actually me being curious. It's like an alternative history. Very different to the last one. A lot more of them are ones that I'm not as interested in, just because I am a science fiction fantasy girly. But I still do want to read all of them, and I will have to get to them at some point. So let me know which ones you think I should pick up first. I mean, 19th Christmas, I think I'm just going to squeeze it in around December. But the rest of them, let me know. What should I pick up? Thank you for watching, folks. If you would like to see video 1 and go back and see that, or if you want to see video 3 when that one comes out for all of the science fiction fantasy series that I haven't started yet, and there's a few, then do hit subscribe down below, and I'll see you folks in the next video. Bye!